There we are, Deb. Good morning, Facebook.
Good morning.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone.
Yes.
We're wearing our green.
Yep.
We're being all festive today. And we're just going to welcome you once again to our Travel Talk series with Northland Travel. Thanks for joining us today. As a reminder, we're live on Facebook. We're actually live on YouTube right now also. If you're catching us on the replay, welcome to you also. We're glad that you have taken a few moments to check out one of our awesome trips that we have going in 2021. We've got Deb Harkness back with us once again today, and she's going to be talking with us about the Fall Spectacular in the Southeast. Got a little spoiler for you. It's Georgia. It's going to be October 21st through October 31st of 2021.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really exciting trip. Deb's going to get to the details in just a moment. I do just want to remind you of how this all works. This is about as personal and social as we can be right now. So join on in to our conversation. We'd love to hear from you. Margaret has already said good morning, ladies. Good morning to you, Margaret.
Good morning, Margaret.
Thanks for being back and watching us today. You can comment on this post while we're live here. We can see your comments, and we'd love to hear from you. So just like Margaret, say hello, or as Deb's going through all of our trip details, if you have some questions, be sure to pop them in the comment section of the post on Facebook or YouTube right now, and we'll be sure to see those while we're live, and then we can respond to you. So I think that's about it for housekeeping. That seems to be my general job, and I'm going to head on over and give it to Deb. Look at this. I'm even getting it down.
Yes, there you go. You're getting good, Rachel.
All right, Deb, take it away.
All right. Hey, good morning, folks. And again, like Rachel said, happy St. Patrick's Day. And we're glad that you had a few minutes here to join us and hear a little bit about another one of our great trips. Again, as Rachel said, this is going to be October 21st to the 31st. And we are highlighting Georgia, down in Southeast Georgia. Beautiful, beautiful part of the country. And this is going to happen in late October, which should be perfect timing for the fall colors, not only down there, but as we're going down. So that's why I purposely chose this time of year, just so you get a chance to see all the beautiful fall colors of the Southeast, as well as all the other fun stuff we're going to be doing. On day one, we will pick you up in your home pickup point. If you've traveled with us before, you know that we have 8 different departure cities that we like to be able to pick you folks up in. And those cities are, I'll just review those quick: Fort Dodge, Waterloo, Cedar Rapids, Ames, Ankeny, Grinnell, Coralville, and Williams. So with whatever is close enough or closest to you in regards to your home location, we'll pick you up there and we'll be on our way. We will travel to, the first day out, we will travel to Collinsville, Illinois. Collinsville is just across the Mississippi River from St. Louis. So we're basically traveling to St. Louis. And that first night out, we're going to stay in a brewery there in Collinsville. I'm sure most of you, if you've traveled with me before, know all about the breweries. I do breweries every chance, excuse me. I do breweries every chance that I get. Oh gosh, I got a frog in my throat. Anyway, they have what they refer to every night as their happy hour, and you get a nice meal there. This is all complimentary. So it's nice to be able to get into a hotel, especially after a day where we've traveled all day and you've been up early, and just get in, get settled into your room and go down and have a couple drinks and relax and have a nice meal there and not have to go out again. So that's what I like about breweries. They're a one-stop shop. So it's
really those are the hotels too. Don't they always have like popcorn, hot dogs?
Oh, yeah, they've got all that kind of stuff. Yeah, free unlimited sodas, and so anyway, everything there is complimentary. So
I feel like I bring a common trend. I feel like I'm always talking about the food on your trip.
That's okay. Everybody looks forward to food. If you went with us a few times, Rachel, by the end of the trip, when you have 3 big meals a day, it's kind of like, ugh. But we get through it. Anyway, we will, then the second day we leave Collinsville and we'll travel down Nashville, Tennessee. And that evening then, once after we get checked into our hotel there, we're going to go to the Grand Ole Opry at the Opry House. And nobody goes, at least I don't go to Nashville without going to the Grand Ole Opry. So that's one of my favorite things to do. So we're going to take that in that Friday night while we're there. Then the next morning we will leave Nashville and we're going to travel down to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And while we're going to stop in Chattanooga, and there you're going to get a chance to ride the Incline Railway. The Incline Railway is the world's steepest passenger railway line that goes up the top of Lookout Mountain. It's really a neat thing to see, and beautiful scenery. Once you get up the top up there, well, you've got these beautiful mountain views of the Chattanooga, the city of Chattanooga and the Chattanooga Valley. And again, with the time of year that we're going to be there, it should be really pretty. So we'll get a chance to do that. Then that afternoon, after we get done with the railway, we're going to head further south. Then we're going to go down to Macon, Georgia, where we'll be spending that night there. And then the next morning, we're going to get up and leave Macon, and we're going to travel just a little south of Macon, and we're going to go out. Georgia, as everybody knows, I'm sure, is their prime production is peaches and pecans. And so we're going to go out to Lane Valley Orchards and visit an orchard out there, where you'll be able to purchase anything that's got pecans or peaches, anything that's related to those. They've got it there. They've got a really nice gift shop there that you can pick up just about anything you can think of.
I'm telling you, I just went like this again because the food.
Yeah. And one of my things that I really, of course, I'm an ice cream nut anyway, but one of my things that I really like there, they have peach ice cream from fresh peaches. And oh my God, that's just about to die for. So anyway, it's always fun to stop there just for a little bit and pick up some goodies there. So then we'll leave the orchard area there, and we're going to continue our journey on down further southeast and get down to what's referred to as the Golden Isles that night. And that's where we're going to spend the next couple of days. Those are so pretty. If you've seen, I've been posting some pictures here lately on Facebook of the Golden Isles. The other day, I just put on a picture of a beautiful sunset across the water there. And those are the kind of views that you're going to get a chance to see down there. The Golden Isles are really spectacular. They actually consist of, well, there's several different islands, but the main 3 that are the inhabited islands are Jekyll Island, Brunswick Island, and I'm missing one. St. Simon's Island. There you go. St. Simon's, Brunswick, and Jekyll Island. And all these, even though they're separate islands, you don't have to get on a ferry or a boat or anything to go from one island to the other. All of them they're all close enough together that they just have what they refer to as causeways, or they're like a bridge that connects one island to the other. So during these 2 or 3 days that we're there, we're going to be doing a lot of hopping from one island to the other, just trying to take in all of the stuff that's there. When we get down there to the Golden Isles, we will be met by a step-on guide, and she'll be with us the entire 2 or 3 days that we're there. So she'll take us around to all the fun spots and the hot spots, and our lodging there while we're there. We're going to be there 2 nights. Our lodging there is going to be right on the waterfront, right on the beachfront. And so, and of course it's October, but it's still plenty warm down there yet at that time. So you'll get a chance that evening when we first get there to go out and get your toes in the sand if you want to. It's a really neat place. So then after dinner that night, then we'll get to settle in, like I said, and then the next day we'll start out that morning with a historic tram tour of Jekyll Island. And Jekyll Island is what's used to be referred to as Millionaire's Island. Years and years ago, the early 1900s, when all the big rich folks from the Chicago area and the New York area and all these millionaire folks wanted to get away from the cold winters, what they decided to do was to hop on a train and go down south, down into this area, the Southeast Georgia area. And they kind of inhabited this, what's referred to now as Jekyll Island. And they built some beautiful, beautiful historic homes down there. And over the course of the years, they have kept these up. It's a big tourist destination now, but they've kept all these up. And so on this tram tour, we're going to get a chance to go all around the island and see all these fancy houses. And you'll get to go inside and see a couple of them, what they look like on the inside. They've kept them in the early 1900s decade part, but they're really, really neat to see. So I think you'll enjoy that. And then that afternoon, we're going to go over to St. Simon's Island for a while, and we're going to take in Fort Frederica, and we're going to visit the beautiful historic Christ Church. And then that evening, we'll have a nice seafood supper at a nice restaurant there on St. Simon's Island. Then we'll get you back to the hotel so you can go out and enjoy the sunset and go for a walk on the beach if you want to yet that night. Then the next day, we're still down there in the Golden Isles area. We're going to go out and visit Hoffel Plantation. And this beautiful plantation represents the history and culture of Georgia's rice coast. Down there in the low-lying areas of Southeast Georgia, their rice used to be a big thing that they produced all the time down there. And so you'll learn all about that on this plantation. And then after we get done with that, then we're going to pack up and we're going to travel up about 2 or 3 hours north up to Savannah. To give you an idea where the Golden Isles are, back up here just a little bit, they are about only 50 to 75 miles north of Jacksonville, Florida. So we're just about on the Florida coast when we're down there. So anyway, then we're going to leave the Golden Isles and we're going to travel up to Savannah. And once we get up there, we again will be met with a step-on guide. And she will be spending the next 2 to 3 days with us while we're in Savannah with us. When we get there, we're going to go out and visit old Fort Jackson, which is a historic fort there. During the Civil War, Fort Jackson became one of the 3 Confederate forts that defended Savannah from the Union forces. So you'll get to see the big old guns out there, and you'll get to hear them firing some of them off. And that's always a fun thing to see. And then we'll come back that afternoon and we'll get checked into our hotel. And then we're going to go again that night for a nice to the River House seafood restaurant and have a nice seafood dinner that night. If you haven't traveled with me before, when we get into these specific areas, I like to, as far as the dining, I like to try and take in what is prominent for that area. I mean, like this seafood obviously is the big thing here in this, right off the coast. So we're going to have plenty of opportunities for seafood while we're there. If we go to Texas, we're going to do a barbecue. Wherever we go, I like to do whatever, the main food is there and get you to enjoy that. So anyway, then that next day, this will be day 7. We'll meet up with our step-on guide again that morning while we're in Savannah, and she's going to take us down through the historic district. And again, Savannah has got lots and lots of history, and so it's a really neat town. So you're going to get a chance to see all that. And then that afternoon, we're going to go out and visit the Low Country just outside of Savannah. And I'll let her explain better. She does it better than I do. Just what the Low Country consists of. The water table is so high and there's, the tide comes in, the tide goes out, and she'll explain all that. But we'll get to really get out and see that firsthand. And we'll also be going out to Tybee Island. And that's a really neat place. You'll get a chance to, that's a little tourist spot too. They've got lots of souvenir shops there. And what I really like about Tybee is that we will let you off and you'll get a chance to get lunch there and do some shopping there. But then they've got this really neat pier that that extends way, way out into the water there, out into the ocean. And you'll get a chance. It's probably, I would guess, maybe a quarter of a mile out, eighth of a mile, quarter of a mile out. And you can walk out on this pier, and it's just really, really awesome to get out there, and the water is totally surrounding you. So I think you'll enjoy that. And then that afternoon, we're going to go on a dolphin cruise there in the inlets. Lots and lots of dolphins in that area, so you get to see them jumping around and swimming around, and that's always fun. And then that night, and here we go, Rachel, we're talking food again. We're going to go to Paula Dean's Creek House Seafood and Grill for our evening meal that night. This is this restaurant is located under the palms of the Turner Creek, and she just recently opened up this restaurant there. So I'm looking forward. I haven't been to this particular one yet, but I'm looking forward to taking the group there. So that should be fun. Then we will get you back to your hotel that night. And then the next morning, that's after we've spent about 2 big days in Savannah. Then we will pack up and leave Savannah, and we're going to travel up to Charlotte, North Carolina. And Charlotte is kind of, if you imagine North Carolina, Charlotte's kind of in the middle there. And we're going to visit the Billy Graham Library while we're there. That is a very neat place to see. It's a 40,000 square foot complex that has all of his pictures and his music and artifacts in it. And also they have moved his childhood home in there. And that's also, and so you'll get to tour that. And then this is also Billy Graham's final resting place. So you'll get to see that as well. And then that night we will stay in Charlotte. Again, we will be staying at a Drury hotel. So you'll have your happy hour and food right there at the hotel that night. Then the next day we leave Charlotte. We're getting into day 9 now. We leave Charlotte and we're going to travel over to Western North Carolina, right in the very edge, the very western edge, to Asheville. And we're going to go out and tour the Biltmore Estates. And I'm sure everybody's heard of the Biltmore if you haven't been there before. In 1889, George Washington Vanderbilt built this privately owned house, and it is still owned by the Vanderbilt descendants, and it is remains the most prominent example of the Gilded Age mansions. It's huge place. And so you'll have a self-guided audio tour of this estate. And they've got some beautiful flower gardens out around the estate, and you'll get to walk through those and see all those. They're super well groomed. They're really nice. And then we'll also have lunch there on the estate while we're there. Then we will leave there and continue our trek towards home, and we're going to get up as far as Knoxville, Tennessee that night, and then we'll stay overnight in Knoxville that night. Then the next day we'll leave. That's getting us into day 10. We will leave Knoxville, and we're going to travel up to Lexington, Kentucky, which, as everybody knows, is the heart of horse country. And you're going to see lots, as we travel down the road, you're going to see lots and lots of beautiful horse farms along the way. They're really immaculately kept. They're so fun to see. But then we're going to visit one. We're going to visit what's referred to as Old Friends Horse Farm. And what this is with this being near Lexington, this gentleman, him and his wife were originally born and raised in the New York area. And they became well-to-do out there in New York. And they got tired of living there in the big city, and so they took a vacation one summer down the Lexington, Kentucky area. The gentleman was big into horse racing, and he loved the Kentucky Derby. And so they went down there and seen that one summer, and fell in love with the area. So they decided to go back home, pack up their stuff, and they moved down to Lexington area on a permanent basis. And they bought this farm down there. And what they have done is they've turned this into what they refer to as a retired horse farm. You don't have to be a horse fanatic to enjoy visiting here. But what he has done is he's brought all these horses, these retired Kentucky Derby. A lot of them are winners, or at least placed really well too, in the different races over the course of the years. And he's brought these horses in after they're retired and can no longer race. and just lets them run free. He's got acres and acres and acres there that they just run free.
That's really sweet.
It is cool. It's a really, really neat thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so personal about this. I mean, he has had this now for probably 15 years or so, but you'd think that he just did it yesterday. He still enjoys. He goes out there. We've been down there. I suppose I've been there 6, 7, 8 times with groups over the course of the last 10, 12 years. And it doesn't matter what day of the week that you are there. If he's there, which he is most of the time, he's the one that comes out and gives the tour. He doesn't want to miss anybody. He's just a very personable man. And he's got stories to tell about each and every one of these horses. It is so cool. They come up to the fence. He'll call them up to the fence, and you get a chance, if you want to, you can feed them right out of your hand, and it's a super, super neat thing to see. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you don't have to be a horse lover even to really enjoy this. Mm-hmm. So we'll do that morning, and then we will leave there, and then we're going to travel on up to Indianapolis, Indiana, and that will be our last overnight stay. And then that'll get us then into day 11, which the next morning then we'll pack up in Indianapolis and come on home and get you back home to your home port. So I think
Deb, I have to interrupt you because I know a lot about these trips and I hear a lot about them, but I think one thing that continually you do such a nice job of is, yes, there's the destination that you're traveling to, but you hit spots that are special and unique and important on the way there and on the way back. I mean, I put a lot of thought into the stops and how it all works.
I like for people, other than the first day out, and I'm not saying this is true on every trip and every single day, but on this trip it is. Other than the first day out and the last day coming home, if it's a travel day going from point A to point B, I like to try and find something to do at least once through that day. Granted, we still got to make miles to get to our destination or get back home wherever we're at. But to break up the, I don't want to say monotony because it's not boring riding the bus, but to have folks something to look forward to throughout the day, I like to be able to do at least one activity. Mm-hmm. And all the years I've been doing this, I've strived on that, of trying to, like I said, other than the first day and the last day, because those days we do have to usually make some miles.
Well, and it's hits a lot of good cities down there too.
Yeah. There's lots and lots of fun things to see and do down there. So I think everybody will enjoy this. I did want to also say here too, before I get too much further, this trip has been confirmed a definite go. We've got plenty of people signed up, or enough people signed up to go on this trip. We still do have a few empty spots, not a whole lot. So if you're thinking on, what you're going to do here, why don't wait too long. Again, with COVID being, hopefully this is late October, so hopefully it'll be way in our rearview mirror by then. But right now, we start our trips out the first part of May here. We're going to start them some short 2 and 3 day trips. And when we do that, we're starting out our motor coaches at 50% capacity. So that means approximately 22 to 25 people on these first loads, first trips. But we're hoping as summer progresses on and as we're thinking optimistic here, they're going to get better and better and better. And hopefully by the time, late summer and early fall come, we're able to increase our load size, our group size, some. This year, we're not going to get crazy at all. As far as we're not going to fill the bus up or anything like that. But we're going to hopefully get up to maybe, where if we could get 30 people interested, why we might be able to do that. But it's just going to be a slow increase, so it won't be anything drastic. But we're gonna keep them low for this year. But I did want to just point that out. And again, talking about buses, we use Aero Stage Lines for our motor coach carrier. We have now for the past 6, 7, 8 years, 100% totally satisfied with them. They have very nice buses. We usually get some on the newer end of the stick here for our tours. Very nice, comfortable seats in them. They all have Wi-Fi. You have plug-ins by your seat there all the time that you can plug your phones or iPads or whatever into. So that's always a nice thing. The drivers are very experienced. Most of them have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles under their belts. So, and they're all very, very nice folks and very personable. So I think you'll enjoy that.
Speaking of bus drivers, you've got Jim going with you on this trip too, don't you?
My Jim is going, yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, right. My Jim always goes on these trips. Yep. The activity level for this trip, I would say, would be a moderate pace. Again, if you can, even with a cane, if you can fairly easily walk a couple of blocks, you should be nice. We don't have any big long distances that we're having to have you walk or anything like that, and there's no inclines or nothing like that. So the pace is pretty good. You should be able to handle that with no problem. Travel insurance, if anybody's interested in travel insurance, if the number's not, I think Ron or Rachel's going to put the.
Sure, I'll see if I can find it here.
Yeah,
she'll put a different system, so we'll see if it's in here. Yep, there it is.
Okay, so there's the number there that if you're interested in signing up for this trip, why call Rhonda, or if you're interested in insurance or she can give you pricing, call that number listed there at the bottom and she'll be able to help you out. On this trip, we will be including 19 meals on the trip. We always include breakfast every day. That's always a given. And then once in a while, we will try and get in something, or most days we'll get in like either a lunch or a dinner. If you're familiar with this cell sheet here, if you see after where I've got like day 1 there, you'll see I've got B and D. That, or day 7, I guess it is, B and D. And that means that breakfast and dinner are included in on the package deal for that. If it's BLD, it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you kind of
I'm not going to publicly admit here how long it took me to figure that code out.
Yep.
But it wasn't the first day. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit. The COVID thing, if we're obviously all very, very, very diligent on that, if hopefully it's not going yet at that time. But as far as what we will be doing on our motor coaches, and this is on all of our tours, starting here in May and going all the way through summer and fall, whatever the current CDC recommendations are at the time of this particular tour or any particular tour are what we will be following. Again, like I said, when these starting out in May here, why we're going at 25% or 50% capacity. And so that allows for plenty of social distancing on the bus. And, the buses are sanitized and cleaned on a daily basis. And, we will have hand sanitizer each time that we go out on a trip. Why I give you a little welcome package, and inside the package there will be a little hand sanitizer for pocket that you can stick in your pocket or your purse or whatever. And then we will have the big jugs that you can keep refilling those. So and as far as face masks, it's just a wait and see what the CDC is recommending at that time, and so we'll play all that by ear. But with everybody getting the vaccine now, why I think everybody's feeling a whole lot more comfortable with this traveling. I know I sure am. So this here we're doing on this particular trip. We have an introductory special that we're still running on this. Originally, if you got the sell sheet or the information sheet for this, you'll see that the introductory special was supposed to end on March 21st, but we have extended it, being we're doing this travel talk now. We have extended this until a week from Friday. Friday, March 26th will be our final date that you'll be able to get in on the introductory offer. So again, like I said earlier, don't wait too long because everybody's getting anxious to travel now. I've got several trips going out over the summer, starting in May. I've got about one going every month. and several of them are already at capacity. They're filled up. We've got a waiting list. So again, like I said, there is still availability on this one, but I wouldn't wait too long if you're interested in it. I think that pretty well wraps up everything. If you've got any questions, why, don't be afraid.
See how many things I can stack up here on the bottom. I just want to share this. Margaret says, thanks for doing so much to keep us safe. And
okay.
That's nice to hear. Thank you.
Thanks, Margaret. We're looking forward to traveling with you this summer.
There is lots of extras behind the scene, but yep, these ladies are making it happen, and because they're ready to travel too.
Yes, we most certainly are.
Okay. Well,
so I think with that, I'm gonna wrap it up. Unless anybody has any other questions, why we'll just look forward to hopefully seeing you this fall. Okay.
Thank you, Deb.
Yeah.
Of course, I always talk just another minute or two in case there's any last minute questions we'd be happy to help you out with. But like I said, we have gotten into the habit of doing these travel talks a couple times a month. And so we're already looking ahead to April. I'm not going to share an exact date yet, but the first part of April, Deb's going to be back again. And, we're going right from St. Patrick's Day to Christmas. We're going to talk about a couple of the Christmas trips that are going in 2021. Deb, usually pretty much every year, don't you? You take a Branson Christmas trip.
Yeah, do a Branson Christmas in November of every year. And then we usually go, down Nashville area in December. And so that's what we're doing. And those are the ones, when we get the date definitely set up, I'll be doing a talk on the Branson Christmas, which is going to be going in November. And then I'm going to do a Nashville Country Christmas in the first week in December. So I'll tell you all about those.
Absolutely. Of course, I'm looking at some of the details for those right now off to the side here. And those are going to be jam-packed trips too. So
yeah. I did want to mention too, that if for those of you listening, if you don't have one of these information sheets, you can go onto our website, northlandtravel.com. And if you click on, there's a little box there, it says group tours. If you click on that group tour box, and then it'll come up with all of our tours that are listed, and they're listed by months, March, April, May, on down. And for this particular one, if you click down or scroll down to October, then there's going to be that's going to list this fall spectacular in the Southeast. And then I think there's going to be a little thing that says view tours or something like that. You just click on that little box, and this information sheet will come up, and then you can print it off. If you can't print it off at home, and you would like one, by all means, either get a hold of myself or Rhonda at the office, and we'd be more than happy to send you, an information sheet like this.
Absolutely. So Greta, I see your message here, and we'll make sure that Rhonda knows and sends one out in the mail to you here.
Okay.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. We definitely look forward to talking to you again in April about Christmas.
Yeah, that's right.
But yes, again, just like Deb said, any information or questions, just reach out to the office at the number listed below here. But thanks again. Happy St. Patrick's Day. If you forgot to put your green on, you still have time. Go do it so you do not get pinched today. That's our PSA for the day. So
that's right.
All right, everybody have a great day. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.